How do you learn who you really are? It's not found in books, it's found on the battlefield. What's up, warriors? All right, today I'm going to get into something that's probably going to be a little bit more triggering. I want to get into the conversation of this knowledge is power. Everyone's going to be looking at if you have certifications, if you have degrees, is this the way? Is this the only way? If you're published and if you wrote books, I've written books, I've got things, I've got published, I've built programs, I've got certifications, done a bunch of classes, I've done a bunch of stuff. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. Most of it's in a drawer. I think we moved, and I think it's in there's a bunch in storage. I've got plaques and certifications and all these different programs I've done. Nobody's ever really cared. They just want to know, does what you do work? Do you have what it takes to make it happen? And so I can break out stuff, but it doesn't matter. And I really say that in a very light heart, not a heavy heart. A lot of times when I'm actually having the conversations with people, they think knowledge is power. People are starving for more information. I need more knowledge. I need more degrees. I need more certifications. I need more podcasts. I need more books. I need more. I need more. I need more. Well, if knowledge is power, how come if we have more information on mental health than we've ever had in our lives, like ever in history, we have mental health epidemics and suicide is through the fucking roof? If that's true, why is that there? Okay. If we've never had more information on health and wellness, if we've never had more, why are we having obesity epidemics and cancer has never been higher in human history? Why? What's going on here? Now, I'm sure some of you have your answers. And I think that that's fine. Absolutely. Whether it goes conspiracy, whether it goes, here's what my research has shown, great. Have your answers. What are the results of what you're doing with it? They say knowledge is power. I say the application of knowledge is how you get power. I'm challenging. I'm putting the warrior on the table. You need to challenge everybody. Challenge me. Challenge doctors. Challenge conventional wisdom. Challenge Western medicine. Challenge holistic medicine. Challenge everybody. Does it work or does it not work? Is it safe or is it not safe? What are the results? And is it something that I can subscribe to? Does it work or not work? Are you qualified or not qualified? And I'm going to tell you straight up, I've been to events with psychologists. I've been to events with coaches. I've been to the events, and I would be rounding up if I said 10% truly have the gift of the sight to be able to do what they do at a master's level. And that's me rounding up. Most people read the book. Most people want to share their opinion, but they don't really see people. They don't have the gift. They can't do the thing. And so I challenge myself, and I challenge even the things I write. I go back, I'm revising my first book because I can kick that book's ass right now. Everything needs to be challenged. Is it better? Is it working? Is there more that needs to be applied? Is this a tool or a practice, or is it a theory? We should challenge everything. You need to ask more questions. And a lot of people have been discovered, and they've shown, even through COVID, and they've shown the things through this time, that at least 50% of people on this planet don't have basic critical thinking. They just say, whatever you say to do, that's what I do. And I don't ask any questions. I'll just do whatever you say without any reasoning needed. Just, you said so, I'll just do it. There's at least half of the people won't even ask a question. They just do whatever they're told. There doesn't have to be any research done on any front. I don't care which polarization you're on. Did you look at more than one thing, or did you say one thing I heard is gospel? What do you challenge? This is the warrior part, is how are we going to handle things? How do we look into stuff? What are the choices that I'm going to make? Do the consequences or results match the type of goals or lifestyle that I'm looking for? Do you challenge anything? Do you look into your own stuff? Why did I do that? Why did I respond or react that way? Why did I say those things? What is inside of me that I'm trying to protect that makes it so that I have a resistance towards something? It may be in one of the fantastic four parts of you. It may be in the mental part. It may be in the physical part. It may be in the emotional part. It may be in the spiritual part. What's the resistance? There's a thing that needs to be moved towards. And if you're finding a resistance inside of yourself to being able to take on new information or even being able to apply it, this is the area that we need to move into. People are trying to gather knowledge as though they're going to listen to the right thing and that's going to give them the right way. It's application. Knowledge without application is just waste. If you have a dream but don't do anything to take a step toward it, it's just a dream. It's no different than if you wake up and then you forgot what it was. What a waste. We should be challenging everything. I hope that you guys listen to this and say, not to say like, let me see your box of certifications, but here is my plight and how have you beaten it? When people look in my eyes, they know the difference from somebody who's had to read about PTSD and someone who's had to beat it. They know the difference from somebody who has had to go into hell over and over again versus somebody who only read how it works. And I see people who are considered experts because they read the book on this say, oh, when you're at this point, you should be able to go over the bridge at that point. And I look at them and I say, there's no bridge there in hell anymore. That's been gone for years. But there is a big group of people standing by that area. Are those yours? Because every time I go to pull somebody out of hell, I go in there to get them. I go into the nightmare fuel. I go into the abandonment. I go into the abuse. I go into the rage. I go into the nightmares of trauma that people have had to go into. I go in there to go get them. And there's a bunch of people sitting by a broken bridge. Is that you? Because maybe you should go in if you're going to try and tell people how to get out. We should be challenging more. We should be challenging more, taking information, and information should be asking more questions. I've got a quote that I use often it's a Bernard Hayes quote, and I really like it. It says, advances are made by answering questions. Discoveries are made by questioning answers. Even if you heard an answer, ask, does that even make sense? Can I use it? And a lot of times you'll hear over and over again, people are looking for more answers, but those aren't solutions. And that's the reason I made that is knowledge is power, but it is not application of knowledge. This means it's powerless. It's just you know things, but do nothing with it. If you understand this is how a car works, but never build a car, you don't move anywhere. We have to know what are we supposed to do with it. And this is why I happily and openly just share information with you guys, because I can tell you this is the answer. This is the Rubik's Cube. This is how it gets solved. But if you don't have someone practicing with you and changing each term, the answer is on a Rubik's Cube, all the colors on each side look the same. So you go like this. Here's what I've got. And if you're listening, I'm holding a Rubik's Cube. Solved cube. You're like, this is what it looks like. When it's done, this is what your life is supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like all the sides have the colors are correct on every single side. That's what your life is supposed to be like. Yet you'll hear somebody say, check it out, solving your life. And you'll show all the greens are good. You're like, okay, I got this far. I got it. But the rest of their life is all completely unsolved. All the rest of the blocks are bad. And you're like, okay, well, the rest of it isn't good, but I see the beginning. I see the greens are good. I'm like, yeah, you got to get the oranges, the reds, the blues, the whites. You got to get the other ones too. You're like, I want to, but I also know as soon as I turn the greens, I'm concerned because now it makes my greens not good. If I try to get the other side, I'm confused. How do I get the other sides without messing up my progress? People are teaching wrong. They're teaching one side. The whole block is messed up. We should be challenging. Do you really know how to do this? Do you really know how to solve your cube, or are you really just talking about the greens? Have you ever done the work to be able to get yourself out of this, or did you just read how you're supposed to work? Because I've been working with psychologists who have gone through formal training, and they're saying what we're doing isn't working as well as what you're doing, but you're breaking the rules. Oh no, we're going to be pushing against the grain. Well, check and see if it's working. Challenge it. See, does this work? Is it working? I have people who have never been more free because they're like, I just did the step-by-step that you told me, and it's working. Challenge it. Ask questions. Is this person legit or are they not legit? It's not going to go off of a certification or a degree. It's going to go off of a competency of doing the damn job. And if I'm only talking about your feelings and we're not giving you tools and application, we're just talking about answers. We're not talking about actual application. It's not a solution. It's an idea. It's a theory. It's a dream. And that's as far as it goes. I've had a few conversations lately that have been really inspiring me to make sure we really challenge and go towards the resistance and try and find the part in us that makes us so I don't want to deal with that, or that doesn't feel good, or I don't like that, and going toward and getting stronger. I'm going to get further into that later. And I just want to make sure that we have a mindset of whenever there's something that doesn't seem right, we go toward. Use that warrior aspect of yourself to say, I have more questions. I have to know more. I'm going to ask to understand. And if you start getting defensive, or if you start getting involved with your ego or excuses, I know something's coming up that's red flagging me. Something doesn't feel right. So I have to learn more. And a lot of times you're going to see people who have been through hell, people who have battled and beaten PTSD, have battled in trauma, have beaten eating disorders, have gone through like really heavy, heavy battles. People who have come out of abuse and abandonment and neglect and all of these issues, addiction. We've beaten all of these curses. You should talk to people who have actually won. This is why in AA, the people who have actually successfully beaten it are the best coaches and the best teachers. They're like, I've beaten this demon. I know what it feels like to win. And I can teach you how to battle in the arena because I was a gladiator myself. I'm leaving you with that, guys. Challenge everything. Ask more questions. Have the warrior go in and say, I need to know more. Does this really work if I test my metal on this? Is this really going to hold up, or is this just an idea? Is it a theory? Is it a fad? Is this you hiding behind a publication or a degree? Or are you really fucking good at it? Challenge. That's where I'm leaving you today. Challenge yourself, challenge your own motives, challenge your fears, challenge your resistance, challenge what makes you scared, challenge. This is the way. Go get it.